If it seems strange to you that protests using the same language and tactics pop up around the world at the same time, you're paying attention. Even in the social media age of instant information, there's a deeper story of connected groups behind the scenes helping foment worldwide leftist protests. And these groups have money, some famous names, and power behind them. Meet the Progressive International. Following the October 7th massacre in Israel, they put out a resolution. It read, "Consider that the Zionist project is colonial in nature, built on stolen land, and sustained by the systemic exclusion, exploitation, and extermination of the Palestinian people." At the same time, pro-Palestinian protests were popping up in cities around the world. In the summer of 2020, following the death of George Floyd, the same group wrote an article entitled "Solidarity Means Dismantling the System Everywhere." That letter was signed by activists, politicians, and intellectuals representing 10 different countries. It reflected the international attention the George Floyd protests were receiving. This is what Progressive International, or PI, a worldwide coalition of groups with an admittedly Marxist agenda, does. They are the left of the left, the community organizers of the world, and they've got big names in their ranks. PI connects like-minded activists worldwide by organizing and promoting campaigns and developing blueprints to share the principles and policies of a progressive international order. They were born out of a 2018 joint call from a Bernie Sanders-aligned nonprofit and a European political association called the Democracy in Europe Movement 2025, and they consider capitalism, the United States, and Israel the biggest threats to their agenda. This was on display soon after October 7, 2023, when PI released the Gaza Resolution, a statement that denigrated Israel as a colonial project and imperial outpost that had been established on stolen land and was currently pursuing a genocidal war against the Palestinians. Even by the standards of contemporary leftist rhetoric, which is quite unfriendly toward Israel, the Progressive International's obsessive vilification of the Jewish state stands out. Despite only existing for the last 4 years, PI lists more than 70 organizations as members. Groups such as the Democratic Socialists of America, Code Pink, and the Sunrise Movement all claim association. And the list of individual members is even more surprising. It includes current, powerful political players from around the world, as well as famous actors and musicians. Jeremy Corbyn, Tom Morello, Noam Chomsky, John Cusack, Gustavo Petro, Cornel West, and even Fidel Castro's niece Mariela Castro Espin are all either current or former members of PI's Leadership Council. Next time you hear of left-wing protests breaking out all over the world, remember that there are influential groups and networks behind the scenes engaged in astroturfing protests, and Progressive International, or one of its associated groups, may have a hand in it. Want to learn more about the groups behind the influencers? Be sure to click the subscribe button and visit capitalresearch.org.